What's up, Yang Gang? Let's see, get y'all in the thing here. Boy, I look like definitely over this one. See if we can get some options. Get y'all situated. Trying to make sure my hat's right. There's lighting in here. Whoa. All right, y'all, we are live at the ice cream parlor. There's an ice cream shop out there that looks outrageous. Give y'all a live look.
So we're gonna face that. We can't do that.
What's up? I see 6 people in here. 6 people on the chat. Where are we at? We are in Iowa. We are at the ice cream parlor. There you go, right there. That's where we are. One of y'all got a live look at Zach and Matt's stream? Because if they got their stream up, that means he's still at the other place. I had to get here to this one. Jesus, please. Lighting is awful, man. This lighting makes me look even worse. Let's see if I can get over here. Y'all, jeez, please. I got up this morning. I looked like I got punched in the eye. See that? Gee, my eye was swollen shut. Crazy. Y'all make sure you tweet this out. Get it out there. Thank you. We appreciate it. This is for y'all, Yang Gang. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm feeling under the weather. It's all good. I'm a soldier. There ain't no rest until the primaries are over. And then Andrew Yang is elected president of the United States. This year, we can rest after that. No, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. CRT. This place is really cool though. Really, really cool. Ice cream everywhere. Look, I'm gonna take y'all around for a second. Since we still getting warmed up. Give y'all a lot of love. You wanna say hi to the Yang Gang? That's what's up. That beautiful hat right there. Precinct captain. What's up?
That's right. Are you asleep already?
Look at this. Oh, flavor ice. Oh my gosh. Hey, thank you, Vince. I'm glad that you saw that article.
Yeah. I love cryptocurrencies.
Do you?
Hey man, are you on the fence? So
Grassroots.
I guess you guys can beat me up on
Are you
both sides.
grassroots? Whatchamacallit?
I'm gonna try to convince you.
You know what I'm about, right?
Grassroots Yang Gang? Yeah, that's me. How are you, brother? I'm Russell.
Grant.
It's nice to meet you. Y'all are putting in the work here in Iowa.
We
You
try.
want to say hi to the Yang Gang?
Thank you for everything you do, whether it's online or phone banking, donations, or coming out here, which is the best thing. Thank you for all of it.
Yeah, we actually y'all should phone bank because I know you don't want to keep putting $1 into his campaign every time you ask for $1. So if you can't do that, freaking phone bank.
That's right. You can donate. Even the broke folk vote can donate their time.
Yeah.
For sure. We appreciate y'all very much.
Thank you.
Grassroots Yang Gang has been spotted. Get y'all back up here in the thing. Make sure y'all tweet it out there. Get it out there. We only got 42 eyeballs on it. Have fun. Michael said to have fun. I don't know if y'all know how much work this is, y'all. There's a lot of this that is not fun. For sure. Paying for a hotel room every night, it's not fun. Making the miles, it's not fun. I put in more miles now than I did when I was back in my rodeo days. How crazy is that? That's a lot of miles. Yes, make sure you like it. Well, there's 49 people in here, only 18 likes, 51 people. No, Michael, it's all good. I'm just hassling. But it is definitely a lot of work. And then, and now like being separated from Mama Yang Gang and Little Yang Gang and stuff, it's tough. But it's all for the cause, y'all. We gotta do it, whatever it takes, man. We cannot get to election time and have not left it all out there on the field, y'all. We got to. There's no second chances on this, y'all. We are literally fighting for the fate of humanity. Every one of y'all out there that either donate to this channel, watch this channel, out there fighting for Andrew, out there putting in the work, phone banking, out there canvassing. Look, y'all are superheroes. Y'all are superheroes because y'all are fighting for humanity, and we gotta do it, man. This is the only chance we got. Exactly. Have the Mamba mentality, for sure. Leave it all out on the court. You hear that, Pete Buttigieg? The court. Did y'all see that clip? Oh my gosh, when they asked him about Kobe. And he's talking about leaving it on the field. I'm like, are you seriously mixing sports metaphors right now? You do not do that. You don't do that. For sports people, you don't mix sports metaphors. That's booty. I'm telling you what's the truth. That dude he's all politician. He's got a one-track mind. Booty wants to be president just to say he's president. Biden, he's done. He's done. Bernie has been fighting for a long time, but you're done, Bernie. Your ideas were 40 years ago. Okay, maybe 20 years ago. What's a decade or two, right? Except when you're too late, and you're too late. Elizabeth Warren, you can't believe nothing that comes out of that woman's mouth. My gracious alive. They asked her about telling the truth the other day, and she couldn't even answer the question. If you can't answer the question about telling the truth, then you do not need to be my president, for sure. Oh my gosh, look, y'all get me amped up talking about Elizabeth Warren. There's only one real candidate, and y'all know who that is. Andrew Yang. Humanity first, all day, every day. Y'all make sure you tweet it out there, get it out there, so we can get some eyeballs on this. Andrew should be here shortly. A packed days of events again. Whew. It's a lot of time, y'all. Yang is definitely the one. Unwarranted. I got a plan for that, y'all. Elizabeth Warren, I got a plan for that.
Sorry for being curt.
Yang is the only one that'll beat Trump. I promise you that. Because MAGA has solidified over there. With all this impeachment bull crap going on. Bill Clinton. I hope he... What? I don't want Bill Clinton in the Yang Gang. To be honest with you. Man, that's the Clintons are a huge reason that we went Trump. I mean, my gosh, the history of corruption in that family is awful. Clinton body count. That's all I gotta say. Jeffrey Epstein. So yes, and the MAGAs, look. One thing you got to understand about MAGA's not hardcore MAGA. They're not going anywhere. They are solidified behind Trump. They're like they're the exact same cut of people as the hardcore burners. I mean, there you go. They are two sides of the same coin, for real. And you know, I mean, look, if you like the Clintons, if you don't like the Clintons, one thing is undeniable, and that's the corruption in that family. Just like the Bidens. I mean, look, this whole impeachment stuff is all over Trump trying to find out about the Bidens and their corruption. And like both sides are wrong. Both sides are wrong. And this is all you're going to get with politics today. That's it. You're going to get these fake wars with their button heads and they ain't accomplishing shit, not getting anything passed. And then you see the what we call the headline unemployment rate and GDP and all this that Andrew has actually brought light to as being bad indicators. But unfortunately, they're the only indicators that the large majority of the population has. And so they're going by those indicators because they don't know no better. And I didn't know any better. You know, I'm thinking, hey, the world's doing good, stocks are up, unemployment's down. Yeah, it's because I'm working 2 jobs to make ends meet. And I don't know insurance because neither one of the places that I work is full time. So you're not going to be able to get any insurance. So you got to pay for that out of your pocket. I mean, y'all, the broke folk vote is real. It's real. 104 people. Make sure you tweet it out. Thumb it up. Why is there only 44 likes on this? I thought there would be more. I should get a like just for my swollen eye. I mean, come on, y'all. Thank you. 49 likes now. Place is starting to fill up. Thank you for liking the video, for sure. It's all good, CRT. We appreciate even getting 4 likes on it, to be honest with you. Why does your eye look like Trump? I'm sure you don't have the coronavirus. I've got the eye virus. Harrison Barnes, long time no see. I don't know. Is Chappelle coming to Iowa? The Wu flu. Is that like Wu-Tang? Because I might take that. This is at this place right here. The ice cream parlor. Who doesn't like ice cream? Where's Chappelle gonna be? I mean, not that I could stream it anyway, but the Heineken virus. I don't even like Heineken. Ugh. I don't know. I don't think Matt's here yet. He might be at the other event. Was he at the other event, y'all? Well, come on, Paget. Give me the ticket then. I'd for sure love to go to that. I wish I could live stream it for y'all, but I can't. Are they over at the other event? Because I know there was an event this morning that I didn't make it to. Because, I mean, look, y'all got to understand something about Iowa. This place, their towns, right? Their towns, when you when you drive through it says you're reaching a town, and it is literally an intersection with like a church on the corner and like a couple houses right there, and then there's nothing. It's just farms and stuff. So, like, when we talk about the ground game here in Iowa for Andrew Yang, listen, we can win these precincts. These precincts are small. You get 4 Yang gang that show up to caucus in a precinct, man. I'm telling you, dude. We can win this shit out here. Well, we gotta be the boots on the ground and stuff. And there's a lot of people out here working hard for Andrew Yang on the ground. Somebody asked me last night, were we gonna canvass in Iowa, or was I gonna canvass in Iowa while I was here? And I'm like, dude, I'm like doing it simultaneously, because like when I'm at these events, I'm talking to Iowans. And I'm yanging Iowans, and I'm that energy guy. When I'm in the room and I take them cues, I'm telling you, man, when you can bring energy into a place like this, and these people leave excited, they remember the excitement. And caucus is right around the corner. What are you gonna think they're gonna caucus for? Math, man. Do the math. My platform is a little bit different than knocking on doors. It's just the way it is. You know, it is much more effective for me to yang the people here than it is for me to be out. So anyway, that's how that is. So yes, I'm doing it simultaneously. Bernie doesn't care about anything except being angry at the 1%. That's all Bernie cares about. Looks like we got some people still showing up here. That's good. You gotta think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my gosh, y'all. You know, as a YouTube channel, the only real source of income from that is monetization on these videos. All of our videos got demonetized yesterday, so we're not able to make anything off of that. So if y'all can donate, please donate. The links will be in the other descriptions of the other videos. Click the little drop down box. Super chats we do get. Those go on the next month or whatever. And speaking of beautiful people, the bus must be here.
He's coming in. Looks like Kevin.
I just told the Yang Gang that the bus must be here. So how was the first event?
It was good.
It's good.
It's in college. It's packed. You know,
Packed?
yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I hate that I missed it. I woke up this morning, my eye was so shut. I was like, God. Which news station is she from? Or which news people? know she's on the bus a lot.
Oh, this lady.
Yeah.
The lady with the green hair.
Yeah.
Oh, she jokes. She's a video too. I'm just gonna do that.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Now we know. There is movement. There is movement. We got the bus here. I'm gonna try to give y'all this view so that y'all can see the crowd reaction. This is part of what sets our channels apart. Is I try to get that crowd reaction up close and personal. Why is there 152 people here? Y'all tweet it out. Get it out there. There should be way more. Thumb it up. If you haven't already. Y'all see the floaters? Yes, the Sioux City event is at noon. So we're gonna have to haul ass out of here after this is over. I can only do it because y'all support it, Yang Gang. It's the only way we can do it. Thank you so much for sharing it, for liking it, for donating. Y'all rock. Y'all make it possible for us to get to these events. He always takes time for selfies. No way he doesn't take time this time, I'm sure. But you gotta think though too, that when he does take those selfies and stuff like that, that gives the crew time to get over to the next event, and it gives time people to get in on the next event. Oh, no selfies at the last.
Hey, good morning, Lamar's. How are you? I feel very official speaking behind this. I always wondered how it felt to speak. Okay. Alrighty. I'll speak off to the side of this thing, because I'll be tempted to. So I'm from Sioux City. My name is Kevin Munoz. I'm an organizer with the campaign. Born and raised in Sioux City, very familiar with Lamar's. It was the place to drive up on a Saturday afternoon to get some ice cream. And the summer after I finished Iowa State University, I worked construction actually here in Lamar's, building a freezer. I forgot whereabouts, but it was like where that old coming into town, where there's that used to be a Pizza Hut. I don't know. I worked there before Portugal, so I spent a lot of time in Lamar's before I was out of the country for a long time, and I'm really happy to be back. Especially to see that the ice cream is still coming out. I'm here to ask everybody to make sure everybody did get a card. We will be filling these out. If you can please turn them in before you leave. And also, anyone who's interested in volunteering. So, again, my story from Sioux City, left the country and came back for this reason. I know that some of you will be able to maybe leave your town to help get some doors knocked, and maybe you don't even have to leave your town, you can make some phone calls. So if you really, really want to get involved, I really encourage you to, and thank you very much. And now, actually, I have the bizarre honor, because it's crazy that I get to introduce someone very special. You all know her, I'm sure. Evelyn Yang, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out here today. You might have heard, but we have 2 little boys who keep me pretty busy at home, so I don't get to come out on the trail as often as I like, but I do love to be here whenever I can. And mostly it's because I know that I'm pretty useful to Andrew. After 15 years of being together, I'd like to think that I'm his best character witness. So I can confirm that Andrew, yes, is pretty awesome. He is a wonderful husband, father, and friend. He's a man of the highest integrity. He doesn't lie. He's guided by moral principles and common sense. And he has exceptional judgment when it comes to filtering out the things that really matter. And most importantly, when I met him, he never wanted to be president or even be in politics. He is here for something much, much greater than himself. He's the only one talking about the biggest problems we face today in a meaningful way and proposing meaningful solutions that will actually make a difference in your lives and your communities. Now please join me in welcoming my husband, the next President of the United States, Andrew Yang.
Let's go, Andrew!
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm told they have delicious ice cream here. Is this correct? We're ordering some. That's like my reward after this. Thank you so much for coming out today. It's a thrill and privilege to campaign here in Iowa because you all are some of the most powerful, influential people in our country today. I know it does not feel like it, just living your lives, decide to check out the presidential candidate who comes through. But I did the math. Do you know how many Californians each of you is worth? 1,000 Californians each. That's right. So look around this room. How many people are here? I'm going to give a Trumpian estimate. There are 600 people here. It's the biggest room anyone's ever seen. I think there are about 30 people here, but 30 Iowans is one football stadium full of Californians. That's the power you have to do something the rest of our fellow Americans only dream about, which is actually change the course of history, turn this country in a different direction. And that is why I'm running for president. Now, Evelyn can vouch for the fact that I'm not someone who intended to run for president. Growing up, my parents were not like, you're gonna be president someday. They were more like, you're terrible, clean your room. And Evelyn would have run the other direction if she thought I was ever going to run for president. So how am I here today with you running for president? I spent the last 7 years running a nonprofit that I'd started that helped create thousands of jobs in the Midwest and the South primarily. And during that time, I saw manufacturing towns in Missouri, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania dry up. And those towns essentially go dark. After the factory closes, the shopping district closes, people leave, and then that town never recovers. The same thing has happened here in Iowa. 40,000 manufacturing jobs have gotten eliminated, and those towns have never recovered. What happened to those jobs is actually now shifting to other parts of your economy. How many of you noticed stores closing around where you live here in Iowa? And why are those stores closing?
Amazon.
Amazon, that's right. Amazon's soaking up $20 billion in business every year like a giant spaceship. How much are they paying in taxes?
Zero.
Zero. So that's the math that you all have to change on February 3rd. You have to say, how is it possible that $1 trillion tech company is paying less in taxes than everyone here today and everyone in your town? That does not seem right, am I right? And there's only one way to change it. It's for us to get a hold of our government and make it work for us again, and not the big companies that have been running the place for far too long. Washington, D.C. today is the richest city in our country. Think about that for a second. What do they produce? We don't know. But business is awfully good. So we have to take some of the value that's getting sucked out of your town and then bring it back. Bring it back in the form of a dividend that I just want to give straight to you and your families. Because there's nothing our government can do that would actually empower you to improve your lives and the lives of those you love, more than just putting the resources directly in your hands. You can make those decisions better than any government administrator ever could. How many of you are here in part because you saw these TV ads? No? No TV ads? Oh my gosh, we spent so much money on those ads. Can we miss this town? I'm gonna have to fire someone. So you know that I have this plan to give everyone in the country $1,000 a month. You might have picked that up not from a TV ad, but we did have it in the ads. And I know this seems like a very dramatic, far out plan initially. You think, wow, that seems too good to be true. But this idea has been with us since the founding of our country. Thomas Paine was for it, Martin Luther King was for it, Milton Friedman was for it. Today, people like Elon Musk are for it. And you know why people are for it now is that they realize that technology is getting stronger, faster, smarter in a way that we are not. We're just human beings. We're lucky to stay about the same, you know what I mean? Unless you're young like our sons, where you actually are getting smarter. The rest of us are like just hoping not to get dumber. But the technology is definitely getting smarter very, very fast. And it's shifting here in Iowa. It started on the farms, consolidated and mechanized a lot of the agricultural jobs. Then it shifted to your factories, wiping out 40,000 manufacturing jobs. Now it's closing 30% of your stores and malls. You have to change something before it hits your highways in the form of robot trucks. You can imagine what happens to Iowa's economy when truck drivers don't actually drive trucks and the trucks don't have to stop. This is why Trump won this state by almost 10 points. This is a traditionally purple state, swing state, down the middle. But things have changed for the worse in many communities here in Iowa. And the job of the Democratic Party is to reverse that. Well, the job of the next president is to reverse that. I hope it's the Democratic Party. That we have to make it so that all of the value that's leaving is coming back into your hands, and then we're able to build a future you're excited about for your kids. Raise your hand if you're a parent like me and Evelyn. If you're a parent, you've been concerned that we're leaving a future that is less bright, less prosperous, less secure than the lives that you led as their parents. And the reason you feel that way is because that is what's happening. If you were born in the 1940s, United States of America, there's a 93% chance you're going to do better than your parents. That's the American dream. That's what brought my family here. But if you're born in the 1990s, you're down to a 50-50 shot, and it's declining fast. So that's why the parents feel the way we do. And that's why young people, I see a lot of young people here, it's why you feel the way you do too. You're like, wow, were things always this hard? Was school always this expensive? Like, were the paths always so unclear? And the answer is no, it actually used to be better. This economy actually used to work better for people right here in Iowa, and that's what we have to change. That's why I'm running, to rewrite the rules of the 21st century economy so they work for you and your families. I'm not running for president because I dreamt about being president of the United States. I'm running because I'm a parent who sees what's coming down the pike, and our kids deserve better. But there is no way to give them better unless we get together on February 3rd and let the rest of the country know that this economy has to work for us. It's not that we all work for the economy.
That's right.
I've been giving $1,000 a month, not me, a combination of me, the campaign. So thank you, Evelyn. Where'd Evelyn go? Because Evelyn signed off on this. So we've been giving $1,000 a month to various families around the country, including Kyle Christensen in Iowa Falls, here in Iowa. Kyle was taking care of his ailing mom who had cancer, and they were struggling. And when you put $1,000 a month in their hands, it doesn't solve all the problems, but it's been this huge weight relief, and you can see it in their faces, in their lives. $1,000 a month is a game changer for many, many Americans, and we can 100% afford it. You have a $1 trillion tech company like Amazon paying zero, and 12 years ago, you may not even have noticed what they did here, but we bailed out the Wall Street banks for $4 trillion. You remember voting for that?
Nope.
No. They could put that to a vote. If they put it to a vote, hey, do you want to bail out the banks for $4 trillion, or do you want to keep Americans in their homes? Which would we have chosen? Oh, it's easy, right? It's like an easy move. But they chose the banks. That's where we are again, Iowa. This time we're going to choose ourselves. This time we're going to choose our people. We have to get a hold of Washington and let them know that this is still our country, that we all have intrinsic value as Americans, as citizens, and as shareholders of the richest country in the history of the world.
Yeah.
Woo! Essentially, we have to treat ourselves the way our government has been treating the banks, pharma companies, the tech companies, and the people that have been laughing all the way to the bank at our expense. This is why Trump is our president today. He got some of the problems 100% right. You have record high corporate profits in this country right now. You know what else are record highs in the United States of America? Suicides, stress, anxiety, depression, mental illness, student loan debt.
Record, no, these are all just true facts. I'm the math guy, it says it right here. I just looked at the numbers and was like, wow, these numbers are horrifying. It's gotten so bad that our life expectancy has declined for the last 3 years in a row. You know the last time that happened in the United States of America? Great Depression's a great guess. It's the Spanish flu of 1918, a global pandemic that killed millions. You have to go back 100 years to find a time like this in American history where our life expectancy declined 3 years in a row. It's actually highly unusual for life expectancy to decline in a country like ours. It ordinarily just goes up, right? Richer, stronger, healthier. But in the US, it's gone down and then down and then down again because suicides and drug overdoses have both spiked to record highs. You know what else are at record lows in the United States right now? Starting a business for a young person, getting married, having kids. Anything you associate with having a thriving society and way of life is now at record lows. But the corporate profits keep going up and up. That's what we have to change. I know how messed up these numbers are in part because of Evelyn and my family. Evelyn's at home every day with our 2 boys, one of whom is autistic. How much is her work valued at in our current economic measures?
0.
Evelyn gets a 0. So does every stay-at-home parent in our country. How about someone like Kyle taking care of their mom who's recovering from cancer? That's a 0 too. How about activists and volunteers trying to do something positive? That gets a 0. How about 98% of artists, unfortunately? For some reason I thought these people looked like aspiring artists. So 0. I'm glad I read that. You know one thing we don't think about, but it's very important? How about local journalism? We have put almost 2,000 local newspapers out of business over the last number of months because all of their revenue floated up to the internet. And you can't run a paper on that. You know what doesn't function as well if you don't have local news?
Democracy.
Democracy, that's right. Because how can you vote on what's going on in your town if literally no one's even covering what's going on in your town? These are the things we're supposed to value the most in our lives. Our children, our families, our communities, our democracy, and they're getting zeroed out one by one by one. This is what we must change. This is why I'm running. We have to make this economy work for us. We have to say the machines work for us, and that we don't work for the machines. This is a case that the rest of the country is so eager to take up, and that's how someone who no one ever heard of a year ago raised $16.5 million last quarter in increments of only $35 each. So my fans are almost as cheap as Bernie's. I'm now 4th in the polls and rising to be the Democratic nominee. And the reason why this is the case, why I'm doing so well, is that I'm laser focused on the problems in your communities, in your town, that got Trump elected, and that's what I want to make better. You should not have a standard for the next president of the United States, like, oh, I like that person, like I'm proud to send them to DC. The standard you have for the next president should be, will they actually make your way of life in your town better every single day?
Yeah.
That's the standard I want you to hold me to as your president. If I can't do that, I should not be your president. Donald Trump's our president today because he had a very simple, powerful message for the country. He said he was going to make America great again. What did Hillary Clinton say in response?
America's already great.
America's already great. Remember that? It's been a long 3 years, I know. But it's now coming to an end. That message, that response of Hillary's did not go over well with a lot of people because the problems are real. We have to acknowledge their depth and severity and reality, but then we need solutions that will actually move our communities and our country forward. What were Donald Trump's solutions? Build a wall, turn the clock back, bring the old jobs back. We know, you know, we have to do the opposite of these things. We have to turn the clock forward. We have to accelerate our economy and society to rise to the real challenges of the 21st century, like climate change. We have to evolve in the way we see ourselves and our work and our value. I'm the ideal candidate for this job because the opposite of Donald Trump is an Asian man who likes math. Thank you all very much. You may not know this, but math is an acronym, and what does it stand for?
Make America think harder.
Make America think harder. That's right. That's your job on February 3rd. It's your job to move this country we love so much. Not left, not right, but forward. And I know that's just where you will take us. Thank you all. We got time for a question or two. Someone throw someone a mic. Or I'll do it. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to take that chance. Man.
So what's your plan for 8 years from now, as you're leaving office, when $1,000 isn't what it is today, how do you keep that up with inflation and what $1,000 will get you?
I love this. So the $1,000 is pegged to inflation, which right now, let's call it, is going to be like 2% a year. So it would be 1,000 year one, then 1,020 year two, then 1,042 year three, etc. And the great thing about this money, this trickle-up economy, when this money's in your hands, where will it go? How much of it will stay right here in Iowa?
Most of it.
Most all of it. Not all of it, you might get your own Netflix password. But most of it will go to car repairs you've been putting off, and daycare expenses, and Little League signups, and art supplies, and local nonprofits, and religious organizations. This is what we've been waiting for, to rebalance, frankly, rural economies and urban economies, because we're in the midst of the most extreme winner-take-all economy in our history. How the heck do you balance that out? When I was in Des Moines talking to state legislators, the people who represented rural areas said, there is nothing that anyone is talking about that would actually work for these communities except what you're talking about, Andrew. And a poll just came out today that said that a majority of Iowans now support this plan of everyone getting $1,000 a month. So we can make this real very, very quickly. If we win Iowa, first imagine those headlines, it'll be very fun. But we'll win New Hampshire, I'll be your president, and then I'll come back and deliver it. But the $1,000 has to be pegged to your cost of living so that it actually maintains its buying power over time. Thank you for running the
Hello. Hi. I wanted to learn more about the $1,000. Does that have to go through Congress to get passed? What's the legislative process for that?
Well, I love this question again. All right, so check it out. I win Iowa February 3rd. Thank you again. We win New Hampshire. The rest of the country is like, oh my gosh, we can do this for ourselves? This is amazing. The internet already has me as a heavy favorite against Donald Trump because I'm better at the internet than he is. 18% of college Republicans say they choose me over Trump. And he has not tweeted about me at all because he knows. Like, he's trying to hope I don't get through this process. So if I'm the nominee, we beat Trump. His most potent attacks are what? You're a corrupt DC politician. None of that stuff works on me. I can just be like, whatever. Let's get out of the way. Let's give the people some money. So I get to DC. I'm your president a year from now. Democrats will be so pumped to have won, and they'll know I ran on this dividend, so let's pass the dividend. But here's the magic. Republicans and conservatives from places like Iowa are going to look at this and say, wait a minute, am I against this dividend? This is a huge win for rural communities, for red states on the interior. And the one state that has passed a dividend and had it for almost 40 years is Alaska, which is a deep red conservative state and was passed by a Republican governor. Republicans and conservatives do not hate buying power in Americans' hands. What do they hate? A giant bureaucracy making everyone's decisions for them. So all we need is 20% of the Republicans to get on board with the dividend, and then we pass it. And then you all have this very unfamiliar feeling, which is the government did something you actually love. So this is very achievable, but we need to win Iowa. We need your help on February 3rd to caucus for this campaign. I got to tell you, we have the potential to shock the world and move this country forward very, very quickly, but it's not going to happen without you all caucusing for us.
For sure. For sure.
So my question is, money in politics is it's the reason nothing gets done.
Yeah.
And so with that in mind, would you be in favor of an amendment that limits political campaign contributions to simply registered voters? Or what is your idea? Because I think you're the guy that comes up with ideas that are very unique.
I appreciate it. You have very high expectations for me, and I will deliver. All right. Money in politics is killing us. That's why the companies just run everything. So I've got a few big ideas and plans for this. First, I'm for term limits for members of Congress. Because it messes with their incentives. If they actually were there and said, hey, I just have to do the people's work and then come home, then they might actually vote differently. Then it's like, hey, let me stay here as long as possible. You know what I mean? So this is how we'll actually pass it as your president. I'll be your president a year from now. I will go to Congress and say, hey, we need 12-year term limits for all members of Congress. But current lawmakers are exempt. Do you think they'll pass that?
Yep.
Oh, they'll pass that because they're exempt. They'll be like, we do this for the people. And then they're all grandfathered in. They're walking around like, oh, like I could stay here forever. But eventually they'll lose, age out, and then we'll have a Congress that actually works. Then, to counteract the lobbyist cash, you want to try and overturn Citizens United and get the dark money out, but it's very, very hard. So in addition to that, what we have to do is pass democracy dollars where every voter gets $100 that you can use to finance candidates and campaigns. Right now, 5% of Americans donate to political campaigns. What would that percentage be if everyone had $100 free that you could do whatever you wanted with every year?
Be a lot higher.
Maybe 50%. Americans are pretty lazy, you know? People are like, ah, it's still, you know, I don't know, it's still too hard, whatever. So, but at 50%, we wash out the lobbyist cash in our government by a factor of 4 to 1. So if you're a legislator, you get 10,000 people behind you, that's $1 million. And then when the company's like, I've got $70,000 for it, you're like, I don't want to take your money because they're going to be mad and I'm getting $1 million from them. And so you end up making legislators actually responsive to what we think rather than what the companies think. So that's another very, very big move. The other thing we have to do is we have to get people in Washington that can't go back to work for industry after their time in Washington is done. Because there's a revolving door right now. If you become a regulator, there's a big company being like, hey, go easy on us, and I will pay you 6 to 10 times more than you're getting paid right now in 2 years when you leave your post. So what's human nature for that person? Go easy on the company. Heck, most of the regulators used to work at the company. This is why things are so messed up in DC. So what I'm proposing is that if you run one of these agencies, it's a one-way trip. We will pay you more, but you are not allowed to work for industry for at least 10 years after you leave. And to set that example, to change the culture, as your president, I would pledge never to take any speaking fees for personal gain for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Because it's impossible to stop the corruption of the revolving door. And frankly, the president's like, I'll do it. And then everyone's like, well, he's doing it, so I guess we all do it. So if you want to change that, you have to start at the top and just say, look, I work for the American people. After 8 years, no one will ever hear from me again. I hope that's, you know, some of you are like, but yeah, like I just want to do the people's work, and I'm not going to try and profiteer off my office. Every regulator should have the exact same attitude. Give them a little bit more, but then say it is a one-way trip. Thank you, man. But yeah, it's a huge problem. Money in politics is killing us. Right now, if you have money on one side and people on the other side, who's winning in America? It's all the money. So this is what we have to change. We have to rewrite the economy so it actually revolves around you and your families. Instead of pretending corporate profits are the end-all be-all, we should be measuring our economic progress by your health and life expectancy, by your kids' success rates, by your mental health and freedom from substance abuse, by your clean air and clean water. As your president, I would actually update our economic measurements to these things, and then I would report them to you every year at the State of the Union so you'd see how we're doing. I'll be the first president to use a PowerPoint deck at the State of the Union. Because you can't solve problems if you don't even know what they are. And right now, what's good for the companies, they pretend it's good for us, but it's not. So now we're going to start saying, what's good for us is good for us. And the companies can get on board.
We have time for one last question.
I can just give you the mic. Here you go. Oh, sorry. Oh, no. Sorry. Go ahead. You go first.
Okay. How will our freedom dividend, will it affect Social Security at all for us younger people?
Oh, geez, for younger people, I was thinking you were thinking of your parents. For you, you're not going to get Social Security for a long time. You kidding me? How old are you? Sorry. The freedom dividend is on top of Social Security. It's the biggest expansion of retirement benefits that has been proposed in generations. And I know this is necessary because I talk to older Americans who cannot retire on Social Security. They don't have adequate savings. And that retirement crisis is actually going to ramp up dramatically over time because young people, frankly, have saved virtually nothing for retirement. So don't worry, that's totally normal. So you should know that the plan is for freedom dividend to stack on top of Social Security. So if you're paying Social Security taxes right now, which I guess you are because you're working, you see it in your line, you'll get that back too. Don't worry about it. This is the big move that we have to make. It seems dramatic, but in the context of this historic technological and economic transformation we're in the midst of, and the winner-take-all economy, and the fact that things are about to speed up, We have to make a big move like this as quickly as possible. In my opinion, this is decades overdue. We should have done this a long time ago. That's why it seems dramatic now, but it was common sense 50 years ago. I just regret that it takes the futurist Asian man to drag it back into the light. But you're gonna help hold it up to the rest of the country, and they are going to run with it. Thank you all so much. Did I earn my ice cream? I don't know. My team will tell me. Thank you all so much. All right, what's my next step?
Let's give one more hand for the next president of the United States.
Let's go, Andrew! She got ice cream.
Is it from the ice cream capital? Yep.
I can take it. I'm gonna have to haul ass to the next one.
All right.
Are you sure? Okay. Do you want me to take it for you? That would be, yeah. You want me to? I can be in there. It's okay.
Oh, sorry.
All right, 1, 2,
All right, Yang Gang, so we're about to head to the next event. We love you. See you on the next one. Turn this back around so y'all can help on for a second. The future FLOTUS, right there. Andrew's doing CNN, but we're gonna have to get out of here so that we can get to the next event. We're gonna be late. We love y'all being here, Yang Gang. We shall see you live again in less than an hour. For sure.